You are listening to the Baby You've Got This podcast. My name is Kim Kent. As a health and mindset coach, speaker, and business mentor, my deepest passion and purpose involves empowering and educating women to up-level and transform their mindset so they have the courage, guidance, and belief to achieve their goals and create more success and abundance in their life. You can count on me to be raw, real, and authentically truthful as you listen in today. I love to push beyond the comfort zone, and I truly believe that everyone is capable of stepping into their greatness. If you are looking for the tools, the strategies, and the inspiration to overcome the things that are holding you back, then you have come to the right place. You can visit my website, www.abundanceclub.net, to learn about my beautiful online coaching and membership program called Abundance Club. I'm excited to chat with you today, as every episode is guaranteed to bring you my fun, crazy, but caring self. Well done for pushing play today. Let's get started. Hey guys, so my name is Kim Kent, for those who don't know me, and I am here ready to chat to the gorgeous Tracey Jewel, who's on the other line.
Hello.
And we're doing a joint Zoom chat interview for our podcast. I think it's really exciting.
Yeah, we're doing a bit of upself and Baby You've Got This all rolled into one.
Yes, I love it. And we thought we'd chat today about what mental health, since it's Mental Health Month and we are channeling into Christmas time, which I don't know about you, but I'm actually so genuinely excited for Christmas this year.
I think a lot of people are. I think there's a lot of high hopes as well for Christmas. And again, Jan 1st being a clean slate on the last 2 years that have been incredibly difficult for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, I think I'm counting down for that New Year's Eve. I think I will definitely stay up this year. I went to bed at 10 p.m. last year. First time I've ever fallen asleep before New Year's, but I will be celebrating. Well, I don't know. You have a baby, so I don't know. You'll either be awake or you'll be fast asleep because you need the sleep.
Like you are now, being pregnant for New Year's, it was definitely an early night. So it might be definitely a glass of champagne this New Year's, that's for sure.
Well, I'm jealous. I'm definitely jealous. And it should be a good year next year because it's 222 in the year. So that's what I'm manifesting for angel numbers.
Love that.
I believe in angel numbers.
I'm a big fan on numbers.
Yeah.
I see 1111 everywhere, and I got married, on the 20th of Feb 2021 this year. 222 is a big partnership year.
Yeah.
Hence why we're collaborating on this podcast. I think it's going to be the year of collaborations and community and connection.
I like that. That's the 3 C's. You can brand that right there. That's where my brain went. The 3 C's. Oh, actually, I have to share this. My baby is due in February 22, and the due date is predicted for the 25th, which is the day after my birthday, by the way. But it's a girl, so I'm glad that if I'm sharing a birthday, I feel like it's better with a girl because we can do the same things. But I really would love for her to come on the 22nd of February, because how cool is that date?
Amazing date. I love it. That's very cool.
So I'm just putting it out there. All you listeners, please manifest with me because that would be awesome. But let's chat. So mental health, where do we start? Because it is the biggest topic ever. And it's just all encompassing. There's so many different things that affect each part of life, especially with our mental health. So what do you feel?
Kim.
I'm going to ask you a question. I just love asking questions. What do you feel is going to be the biggest challenge for mental health coming into towards the end of the year, and that we're coming into the silly season as well?
Yeah, what I find with my clients and my community, because I love a good DM chat like yourself, Kim, that a lot of people's plans and goals for this year and last year have been put on hold or not fulfilled or the wheels have come off, or priorities have changed. And when we have a lot of uncertainty in our life, or we're not doing the things we wanted to get done, I think we can reach this stage, especially this time of year, where we look at that goal list of what we wanted to accomplish this year and we're nowhere near it, that we start beating ourselves up or getting into stress or overwhelm or panic. Rather than coming from a place of grace, and actually, instead of using this time chasing our tail, trying to get this to-do list done, I like to use this time to almost wipe the slate clean, and let's just start planning for next year rather than trying to chase and get into this frantic survival mode state of doing, right?
Oh, wipe the slate clean. I think so many people, let's just do it. It's done. Press the button. Where's the button that we press that erases everything? Oh, I agree. Do you know, I feel that when we're in such a state of, fight or flight and that uncertainty and that scarcity, that we can't help but have it be put upon us from from our outside environment with everything that's been going on. It's so much easier for us to go into our victim state. Like, it's so much easier. Our brain just wants to survive. That's all our brain. Our mammalian brain is literally get to your deathbed comfortably. That's all it does. And I think, especially with a lot of my clients, and I've noticed it myself, having the victim mentality thoughts come in. I mean that as in, what's going on? I need to make sure I'm just surviving. Am I getting everything done? Is everything okay? And I start, myself and my clients have started worrying about other people and everything to make sure ducks are in a row. And it is this big external, it's like this pressure coming down. And we've had almost 2 years of it. So I love the reminder, and this is what I really work on myself and reminding people who I chat to, is how can we step into the accountability side, tell the victim side of us just to take a chill pill. Everything's going to be okay. And how can we take accountability? And I think I love your thoughts on take that idea of taking accountability, of just wipe it clean, start again. Let's do it.
Yeah. And we don't have to wait for a new year to do that either.
No.
Because 100% we need to be accountable to our goals. We need to show up. I'm a big fan of consistently showing up, taking inspired action every day. That's what is going to get you to your goals. But sometimes in life, when we have to pivot or things change, work changes, money changes, and we need to change with it, we need to have some grace and some time out and that self-care space first, so then we can keep finding the energy to show up, right? Why do we run ourselves into the ground on empty? We're never going to achieve our goals from a place of scarcity and lack and that lack mentality, right?
Yeah. Which I was just thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love where this chat is going. And I was like, wait, we're talking about mental health, but we're definitely going into more like empowerment, setting up our future, and all of that, which I think is really important. And do you know what came to me then is the biggest thing that so many of us struggle with is setting boundaries.
Yes. Saying no is such a big one, right?
Yeah, setting boundaries. I think, what boundaries can we set between now, as of now, going forward? I used to struggle so much with people pleasing and showing up for everyone else. And, when people ask to catch up, or this event's on, or this needs to be done, or can I go and do this for someone or cover this shift? And I would just say yes, because you think you're doing the right thing. You think you're doing right by everyone else. And then, you just feel like you're going to have a mental breakdown, or you hit that point and you just feel like, I need the bottle of wine. I want to go blow myself up, and as in drink, and just try and escape everything. And all it does is cause more anxiety and cause more stress. And the only pivoting that we're doing is our heads bloody spinning from all the wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my jokes are terrible.
No, I love it. But it's so true, right? As a mental health professional, and putting my counseling hat on and my life coaching hat on.
Yeah.
Mental health symptoms start like depression and anxiety and stress and not coping comes from giving all our energy away, because when challenges happen in our life, if we've got nothing, then where do we go from that, right? Like you can't fall off the floor, but you're on the floor, you're just barely breathing, you're barely coping with day-to-day life from that point. So for me, rather than beating ourselves up that we haven't done our goals and we haven't done our to-do list and things are going a little bit awry, that's the time to plan, and that's the time to go back to basics, to get back to simple, to do that grassroots stuff. And that starts with 100% saying no and being very, very energetically available for yourself and not energetically available for everyone else. Like it is okay to do that. In fact, it's a necessity to do that, right?
And it does get easier. I had this last week. I had a really full, I don't like to use the word busy because I created it. I had a really full week and I was running an online workshop. I had client calls. I had stuff to do because I had my gender reveal and I forgot, I had to actually plan that and buy food and all of that stuff. And I remember I had this one break. I had about an hour. I gave myself, working for myself. It's like I gave myself a lunch break. I was like, oh, I've got some white space in the calendar. And my phone rang. And it was from one of my beautiful friends who I know she was calling to check in to see how I'm going. But when you're going to have a phone call and it's going to be half an hour. And as much as your friend loves you and you love them, you just know it's going to be and I don't want to say energetic draining because I'm sure there definitely are those phone calls. We have those people. But it just was, I need this time to just chill. I need this time to surrender and just be still and be with myself. And I didn't answer the phone. I let it ring out. And I felt guilty, but it was so much easier than, say, 6 months ago. I just would answer everything. And, this has actually been quite new for me this year, setting boundaries, like strong boundaries. And I can say as much as I had that little bit of guilt with not answering it, fuck, it felt good. Once the phone stopped ringing, I was like, it's okay. They don't know that I'm on a break. They think I'm working, maybe. Who knows? But it helps.
It doesn't matter if you're working or on a break, right?
Yeah. Saying no. And I can't encourage it enough that at the end of the day, your world's not going to end if you say no to something that you have to be a bit selfish in that moment. And being selfish is good. So many people condemn selfishness, but there's a side of selfishness that you need because you have to put yourself first to be able to give and to be able to do things for other people and get shit done.
Yeah, absolutely. And like anything, we can't just give, because I used to be like you, Kim, a total people pleaser. I'd be the first to pick up the call. I'd always be on my phone and email. And especially when Frankie came along this year and while I was pregnant, it's like this way of operating just is not going to work anymore for me or my family, right? I need to get very, very clear on my energy exchanges and who I want in my life and make those boundaries because you know what? We get to decide.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this has brought up something I want to share because I'm sure we'll get to it anyway. But I bet you're listening and it's like, okay, I understand all this, but how? How do I do this? What do I do? How do I reduce overwhelm? And this is a strategy that I actually teach in with my clients, but it's for all areas of life. Like, I do mainly business coaching, business and mindset coaching, but this is applicable for all areas of life. So this is how I reduce my overwhelm is even if we're just thinking about what do I need to get done to finish the year? What's the outcome? And how do I want to feel? And then I break it down. Like I do like a mini reverse engineering in my head. And on paper. I do it on paper. It depends. You can do it really quickly. You can do it in your head or you can do it full on, write it down. Some people are list people. Some people need visuals and actually break down the time frame. And, okay, so, for example, by the end of the year, I would love this, and this done. This is the outcome. This is how I want to feel. Okay, what do I need to do in order to achieve that? And break it down to weekly, even daily. So I know that if I ever get overwhelmed or a lot of outside things people, circumstances are wanting something from me, they're Oh, don't you love when your mind goes blank? This baby brain stuff is like,
no, I'm following. I'm following. I like where this is going.
Yeah. And I work out, okay, what do I need to do today that's aligned with my outcome? Or you can align with my vision, because it's my vision for the end of the year. How do I want my life to look? And if I need to make sure what I do today is in line with that, so I don't feel overwhelmed, so I don't feel stressed or frustrated or frazzled, or the cortisol kicks in and the adrenaline kicks in, and I can't drink the glass of wine to relax right now. I can't. It's not fair, but it's a good thing that I'm not going for the glass of wine. And I just think it's such a really smart and really simple strategy, or a tool, to have in the toolkit. That's how I talk. And, we have a life in our toolkit for life.
I think it's all about intentions, right? So everything starts with intentions, and it's your intentions around what you're available for and what you're not. So every day I just decide that I'm just not available for, today is a family day, right? So I'm just not available for work emails. I'm not available for work calls. Like, today's a family day, that's it. And when it's a work day, then, okay, I'm available for my clients. I'm available to show up for a podcast. So I have intentions every day of what I am available for and what I'm not. And you know what's amazing is when I set those intentions, my friends don't call me on those days. It's like you're sending that ripple effect out, and life just becomes more simple and easy.
It does. I actually have something to add to that, because I don't know if you've noticed this, but I have definitely, when I first transitioned into setting the boundaries and setting the intentions, I have had like the family call me on the days I don't want to talk to family. And the way I have to look at it is, and I have a lot of clients who have, like, they make a decision, they step forward, but then things happen that are they feel are out of alignment. And I was like, no, it's just the universe testing you to make sure you really want it and you're staying strong to it. But then going forward, you've proven to yourself, no, I'm sticking to what I intended. And then you're vibrating at that frequency. So you're only attracting in that intention. We got real deep. I
love that.
I feel like we got real deep.
Very deep. But I love this. I love that we're having this conversation.
It's good. I think these conversations need to be had more. I feel like there's so much common sense to them, but it's still how do I say this in the most loving way? It's still new age. It's not new age because it's been around for ages. It's not spirit, like woo-woo stuff, but some people could categorize it as that. But it's just becoming more, we're in the age of awareness. That's how I can say it. Yeah. Everyone's becoming more awake and aware of, our energy and what's going on in the world and what's happening for us and how we control our own life. And I just think this should just be general dinner conversation. Like, get rid of small talk. Replace this with small talk. Replace small talk with this.
But these conversations is what changes the vibration of what is possible for your life as well. And if you're constant, like, I like a good balance. So I love my binge and my Netflix and talking about just, general stuff. But I always make time to have these important conversations because I know it's these conversations that make the big shifts in my life.
Yeah. And this is what is something that affects people's mental health. As much as you know this, at the end of the day, our mental health or your mental health is down to you. Like, your outside world's just a reflection of your inside world. However, we can be influenced externally. And when we let that happen, it affects our inside world. And I've done it again. The baby brain. Seriously. I am shocking. Look, I love it. It's a part of me. But where was I going with that? Oh, this is life. Look, I get baby brain and I still manage to keep my shit together. So, things are working out.
It's all about intention, right? I'm following your intention.
I love it. Well, mental health. Yeah, this is that's it. That's where I was going. It's these conversations. So I always encourage people, if you feel imbalanced with your mental health, or you don't feel like that your mental health is where you want it to be, think about what are the conversations you're having with people. Are they adding life and energy to you? Are they raising your vibration, or are they sucking shit out? Are they adding more negativity or getting hitting that subconscious of like, like why, feeding the victim in our brain? So, well, at least we have these podcasts, right? These podcasts are really good because people can tune in if they don't have anyone in their life. So I need to.
Well, this is the thing. It's what you surround yourself with, and for the listeners, like, this might not be new stuff. You might have heard this before, but every time you hear it, you pick up another aha moment, or it embeds deeper to make more changes in your life, right? Like, you can never hear something enough. Like, once is not enough. You need to hear it several times for it to go to that next level. And that's what we're doing.
And I bet you're listening right now being like, oh my God, I so needed to hear this today.
Yeah. Yes. And we love to hear from you.
We are the universe coming to you through your speakers, giving you your message that you need. Oh, I love it. Oh, and, all this information, as I was saying, it's not new. There's no such thing as a new idea. There's no such thing as a new idea. This information has been around for so long, and the more we plant it in our heads, the more it becomes to the forefront of our mind, and we start thinking differently. So, again, if you want to change your mental health, how are you going to change the way you're thinking? What do you need to feed your brain to get you thinking differently and changing your perspective? And then you can look at your future and look going forward and being like, how can I be the master creator of my life rather than life creating me and life being the creator and controlling everything around me, if that makes sense.
100%. And it's not just mental health. If you want anything to shift in your life, we need to shift first. And thoughts become things, right? So the easiest way is to either physically move or mentally change your thinking. And then it has a flow-on effect.
And then I'm like, it's a skill. It's a skill.
Yeah.
It's 100% a skill. So exactly, you're probably listening thinking, yeah, Kim, yeah, Tracey, I know, but easier said than done. So this is such important information, right? Only 2% of the world's population is self-accountable. Only 2%. So if you're not self-accountable, you wouldn't even be needing to listen to these podcasts, really, because you got your shit together. You know exactly what you need to do, right? There's nothing in your way. Everything's in alignment. But the rest of us, we learn this and we know it, but we need to implement it, because change only comes when we implement. And this is why we need to get accountability. So if we need to get the skills to change, to make change, we have to go get the accountability, whether it's we invest time or invest money or both into something or someone or whatever it might be that we know is going to help facilitate that change for us and support us. Because trying to do everything ourselves is bloody hard. I'm trying not to drop F-bombs
I'm such a big fan of coaches, right? Even as a coach myself, I have my own coaches, because having someone to pitch and catch with, to see the things that we can't see, that accountability of showing up, which is really easy to say when you're having a good day and really hard when you're having a not so good day. To have that consistency in your life is so, so important. It is such a myth, especially as a mum, to think that we can do it all. We can't do it all. We need a tribe and a support team to ensure that we can do it. And a coach is just part of that.
Exactly. Well, you're delusional if you think you can do everything yourself and have happiness and joy and abundance and flow and handle every single challenge, because that's not reality. Otherwise, we would all just be by ourselves, not having community or connection, or, connection is one of the basic human needs. We need connection to some degree. Some people need it more than others. But we need that. It's a part of life. It's what makes life flow. So we're delusional to think that we have to do or can do everything ourselves. It's not about that. We just burn ourselves out. Hence, our mental health degrades. Our mental health goes down. And I think that's one of the main reasons in the last few years where mental health kind of been in the last decade, I feel, and maybe that's because I became an adult and became aware, that mental health has been one of the biggest focuses when it comes to health. I remember being in high school and I suffered massive anxiety. I never knew it was anxiety because I thought people with anxiety and depression were equal to like people diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar and, people who went to institutions to get help. That's what I thought. I didn't know any better. But then I've learned once I became 23, I was like, yeah, I've been, having panic attacks and my sister has them. It must run in the family. And I've been stressed my whole life. So I didn't know any better. But I don't feel like mental health is such a big topic over 10 years ago. Even though people struggled, it wasn't a thing. And I feel like now there's such an awareness around it. And we're getting to a state of, okay, but now we need to manage it. Now we need to know where to go going forward so we can handle it.
And conversation is where it starts, because having these conversations changes our thoughts, it changes our perception, it makes it conscious rather than subconscious. And we need things to become conscious to be able to change them. And it is easy, as we were talking before about this overwhelm. Well, I have so much to do and there's so much you want to do. Where do you start so we don't always stay in this overwhelmed state, but we're still taking inspired action, right? And that's where that chunking it down becomes so important.
Oh, let's talk about this because of that. It's like, okay, how do I chunk it down? One really good thing to do and have in our toolbox is quality questions to ask ourselves. So what are some of your go-to quality questions when you're feeling overwhelmed or when you feel like everything's chaotic and whatnot? What do you do?
I love, questions are so powerful, right? So like you, I'm like, okay, so does this, what I need to do, actually take me to my higher vision and higher purpose, right? That's always one of my questions is this going to take me to where I want to be? If it isn't, then I bench it. If it is, I find a way to make it work. I also do like the test of, does this really need to be done right now? Like, am I just stressing myself out for no reason at all? Does it really need my attention right now? And then I also look at it from like, well, do I need to do it or can I actually delegate this to someone else? Like, do I really, really need to be doing this? Like, I'll give you an example. On the weekend, not feeling so well, it's almost spring and the garden is an absolute mess and it's been on my to-do list for like weeks and weeks. And I'm like, but do I really need to do this? No, for $100, I can get someone on Airtasker to do it and it's done. So why don't we sometimes take the shortcuts, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, shortcuts. The thing is, we can't be afraid to spend money on things that are going to give us more time and happiness.
Yes, exactly.
What's the cost? What's the cost of it's going to cost you
more than there's a bigger cost than that than the $100, right?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I'm in this space with my husband about like we have a small house at the moment, so we don't need a cleaner. And look, I always encourage my clients, where can we make more time for you? What can you delegate and whatnot? What's going to help you have peace of mind and more space in your head to be able to handle what you're doing and what you're creating? And then I'm like to Daniel, my husband, I was like, when the baby comes, we're getting a cleaner. He's like, no, we'll be fine. I'm like, babe, this is not us having a discussion. I'm just letting you know what's going to happen because we're going to need it. Because it's one less thing. Yeah, so I don't even know. Cleaners aren't even that much, right? Well, for a small house. Do they come fortnightly? No. I don't even know. Look at me go. I'm like, how often do cleaners come?